Hello everyone, this is Monica Lakoju. A warm welcome to the UPSC mascot. In today's session, I am going to discuss about the National Education Policy 2020, which is a current issue and an important one in your General Studies paper 2. Let's start our session. To bring several changes in our Indian education system from school to college level, recently the Union Cabinet has approved this National Education Policy 2020. This policy aims to make India a global knowledge superpower. Before moving into the concept, just look at a glance about the brief history of this policy. In 1948 to 49, there was a University Education Commission, and after that, in 1952 to 53, the Secondary Education Commission was formulated. And in 1964 to 66, there was a committee which was headed by Dr. D.S. Kothari committee. Under this committee, the first framework of this policy was evolved in 1968. And according to the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act in 1976, education was moved from state to concurrent list. And next, in 1986, the second major framework of this policy was evolved. And later in 1992, this policy was modified, and in 2016 there was a T.S.R. Subramaniam report, and in 2019 there was a committee called Dr. K. Kasturi Ranjan Committee, and according to this report and under this committee, the National Education Policy 2020 was formulated. So this policy is the third major revamp of the framework of education in India since independence. And this policy brings a number of reforms almost after 34 years. And one of the salient feature of this policy is it is replacing the 10+2 structure of school curriculum to 5+3+3+4 curriculum structure with age groups of 3 to 8, 8 to 11, 11 to 14 and 14 to 18 respectively. And then we'll move on to the highlights of this policy. What are the key highlights of this policy? All higher education institutions except the legal and medical colleges are under a single regulator. Then, who is the regulator for all these education institutions? The regulator is Higher Education Commission of India. Under this Higher Education Commission of India, there are the four independent verticals. The first vertical is the National Higher Education Regulatory Council, and this is for regulation. General Education Council, this is for standard setting. Higher Education Grants Council, this is for funding. And National Accreditation Council, this is for accreditation. These are the four independent verticals under the regulator of the Higher Education Commission of India. And the second key point was the college affiliation system to be phased out in 15 years. A stage-wise mechanism to be established for granting graded autonomy to colleges. Over a period of time, every college is expected to develop into either an autonomous degree granting college or constituent college to a university. And what are the other highlights of this policy are the common norms to be in place for both public and private higher education institutions, MPhil courses to be discontinued, and the board exams to be based on knowledge application, and the home language or the mother tongue or the regional language should be the medium of instruction up to class 5, and the common entrance exams to be held for admissions into universities and higher educational institutions, and the school curriculum to be reduced to core concepts, that means integration of the vocational courses from class 6. These are some of the highlights of this policy. And then what are the changes that this policy has been made? So this policy has came up with focus on multidisciplinary learning. That means offering the professional courses to the students, and the target is the gross enrollment ratio of 50% by 2035, and reducing the course burden on school students and allowing the activity based learning, and increasing the use of technology for learning. Equitable and inclusive education. That means no child loses any opportunity to learn and excel. Gender inclusion fund, and also the special education zones for disadvantaged regions and groups. Children with disabilities are enabled to fully participate in regular schooling process. To establish Bal Bhavan as a special daytime boarding school, and it encourages the robust teacher recruitment and career path, and there will be the promotion of the Indian languages and internationalization of education. That means allowing entry of top world ranked universities to open campuses in our country, and rationalized institutional architecture, and the public spending on education to be raised to 6% of GDP. Currently, India is spending the 4.6% of its total GDP on education. And then, what are the other changes regarding the digital drive in this policy? So, the changes in technology in education, teacher education, financial support and professional education. So in technology and education, an autonomous body called the National Education Technological Firm, which acts as a platform for free exchange of ideas, and there is a National Assessment Center called PARA to assess the students. And when coming to teacher education, by 2030, the minimum qualification for teaching should be 4-year integrated BEd degree. And financial support, when coming to financial support, the merit students who are belonging to the other backward classes, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and economically weaker sections will get their incentives, and the students in private institutions will get their scholarships. And in the professional education, that means some of the universities like technical universities or health science technologies or legal and agriculture universities are aiming to become the multidisciplinary institutions. So this is about the concept of new National Education Policy 2020. And what are the concerns that needs to be addressed? The first concern is research and innovation. The total investment on research and innovation in India has been declined from 0.84% in 2008 to 0.60% in 2018. Currently, we have 15 researchers per 1 lakh population in India, while in China, there are 111 researchers per 1 lakh population in China. So, this national education policy should have been offered more tangible and realizable targets for research. And when coming to the second concern, that is talking about the spending of the government, currently we have 25.8% gross enrollment ratio in higher education and 68% gross enrollment ratio in secondary school education. But now, according to this policy, the targets are the gross enrollment ratio of 50% in higher education and 100% in the secondary school education. That means such targets are any more realistic than the government's solar energy commitments at Paris. So these are some of the concerns that needs to be addressed according to this policy. So finally, it is a progressive shift towards the scientific approach to education. If this policy is implemented in its true vision, the new structure can bring India at par with the leading countries in the world, making the Indian education system more contemporary and skill-oriented. With the emphasis on the knowledge economy driven growth in 21st century, that is precisely what India needs to be dominate in the future decades of growth. and drive the education requirements of our young population. So, in this session, we have discussed about the key highlights of this policy and about the brief history of this policy and what are the concepts, what are the changes that has been taken place according to this policy and what are the concerns that needs to be addressed and finally the way forward or the conclusion. So, this is a very important issue in today's session. So, if you like my video, please share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Have a nice day.